If you have ADHD, you've probably been told you're easily distracted. And maybe you are. But what if distraction isn't actually the core issue? What if the real challenge isn't that your attention wanders, but that your nervous system struggles to stay regulated long enough to hold focus in the first place? Today, I want to talk about the difference between distraction and dysregulation, because they're not the same thing, and confusing them leads to a lot of unnecessary shame. This episode is about understanding what's really happening in your body and brain when you can't focus, can't start, or feel scattered, and more importantly, what helps. So why distraction is too simple? When people say ADHD is about distraction, they usually mean losing focus, being pulled away by noise, jumping between tasks, not staying on track. But that explanation only describes the surface. Distraction is what we see. Dysregulation is what's underneath. Distraction is a behaviour. Dysregulation is a nervous system state. And until we understand that difference, we keep trying to fix the wrong thing. So what distraction actually is? Distraction is when attention shifts away from what you intended to focus on. That can happen to anybody. A loud noise, a phone notification, a sudden thought. Distraction is a normal human experience. But with ADHD, the frequency and impact of distraction are different. Not because the brain is careless, but because the system that stabilises attention is under strain, which brings us to dysregulation. So what dysregulation means? Dysregulation is when the nervous system has difficulty maintaining a stable internal state. In ADHD, this can show up as fluctuating energy, emotional intensity, difficulty transitioning, feeling on the edge or shut down, inconsistent focus. When your nervous system is dysregulated, your brain is scanning for relief, stimulation, or safety. It's not choosing to be distracted, it's trying to regulate itself. So what looks like distraction is often a regulation strategy. Why does ADHD attention follow stimulation and not importance? A regulated nervous system can stay with something simply because it's important. An ADHD nervous system usually needs interest or urgency or novelty or maybe emotional safety. This is why you can hyper focus on something engaging but feel unable to start something neutral or boring. It's not about caring, it's about access. Your brain can't hold attention when the nervous system isn't settled enough to support it. So distraction is the symptom, dysregulation is the root. This is the key shift. If you treat distraction as the problem, you'll try to remove all stimuli, force focus, push harder. But if you recognise dysregulation as the root, you'll support your nervous system first, reduce emotional load, and create safety and clarity, and then attention follows. So how does shame worsen dysregulation? Many ADHD adults try to regulate with self-criticism. Why can't I just focus? What's wrong with me? But shame is a stressor. It activates the nervous system. It increases dysregulation and it makes attention even harder to hold. This creates a cycle. Dysregulation to distraction to shame. More dysregulation. Breaking this cycle requires compassion, not pressure. What are the signs you're dysregulated, not just distracted? You might be dysregulated if you feel tense before starting, your thoughts race, small tasks feel heavy, you jump between things without finishing, or you feel emotionally flooded. That's not lack of discipline, that's your nervous system asking for support. Well, what helps regulate before you focus? Instead of asking, how do I stop being distracted? Try asking, what would help me feel steadier right now? Helpful supports include externalizing your thoughts, reducing decision load, starting with something safe and small, regulating your body, for instance, movement, breath, temperature, stillness. When the nervous system feels supported, attention becomes more accessible. If you're listening and thinking, I need help creating some of that steadiness, I've created a simple tool called the Anchor ADHD Weekly Reset. It's a free ADHD friendly way to externalise what's in your head and choose a steadier starting point. I'll share the link at the end. For now, just keep listening. So why does focus return when regulation returns? You don't need to force focus, you need to support regulation. When the nervous system settles, the mind quiets, the body relaxes, attention stabilises. This is why people with ADHD can focus deeply in the right conditions. It's not inconsistent, it's contextual. So the goal is not zero distraction. Even regulated brains get distracted. The goal isn't perfection, it's access. Access to attention, access to starting, access to returning when you drift. That's what regulation supports. So distraction isn't a personal flaw, it's a signal. And behind that signal is often a nervous system doing its best to cope. When you stop fighting distraction and start supporting regulation, everything changes. If you'd like a calm, practical way to support your nervous system and choose a steadier place to start each week, you can download the free Anchor ADHD Weekly Reset. There's a link in the description below. Also, you can comment distraction and I'll send you a link. It's designed to help you clear mental noise, reduce emotional load and choose one safe, meaningful anchor. It's not a fix, it's support. Take what's useful, leave the rest, and remember, you're not distracted, you're human, and your nervous system deserves care.